What's up all? Today I wanted to give you a step-by-step guide on how to replace the fuel pump, fuel filter in your MR2 Spyder. So what we have right here is what we're going to replace. This is my pump. It's a Kyosan pump filter, which came with the kit. Different little bits of hardware right here. So I'm going to go through. There's going to be different components within the pump in itself that we're going to have to replace. There's an O-ring in here, piece of pipe for, I got to find out to be honest, and a couple little fittings. This will kind of replace everything in the full fuel pump assembly. And we'll have to actually take out this individual little pump that comes out of the assembly, which is about a foot long. And the little filter that came with it. Like I said, it's a Kyosan brand. I'm assuming that's Japanese. I got it on Parts Geek for, I believe, $167, which is shipped. So that was pretty good. There are different options you can go. I wanted to get something, one with a filter, but two, just what, I don't know, just particular. I just wanted to have a matching filter. I'm sure it doesn't matter, to be perfectly honest. But I wanted to make sure that I got the specific kit that didn't require me to rewire anything, because I've noticed that some of the cheaper kits, you can probably save a little bit of money, but you're going to have to cut some of your wires out of the fuel pump housing and just splice new ones in, because the actual connector, there's a connector that goes into this top right here. Actually, it's right here. It'll end up being a different connector if you get a much cheaper pump. So then you'll have to change your wiring for that to obviously have your, because the connectors don't match from the stock, fuel pump unit, fuel pump, fuel filter, whatever, whole unit to this. But I wanted to get one that I didn't have to do that, just because it's just easier for me. I'd rather not, mess around with any wiring if I don't have to. So I've got this, and I'll just show you the tools you need. So you'll need a ratchet set, flathead screwdrivers. I got a couple. Might need a Phillips. I'll find out what I'm ending. I'm going to use some compressed gas. This is just a regular gas tester for like cleaning laptops. This is just something that you're going to use when you pull out the fuel pump cover on the top that's just sitting, within the car, in the body of the car. There's going to be a tremendous amount of dust and dirt in there, and you want to clean that whole thing up before you remove the whole fuel pump housing, because otherwise when you pick it up, a lot of that dust and dirt that's in there, it's going to fall into your tank and it's going to become super dirty, and you really don't want to do that. So I plan on not doing that. I'm going to take a trash bag. That's just to protect the area of the car. This is to clean up some of the mess. This little mask, just for gas purposes. I don't want to be breathing in fumes. And then I'm probably going to get a bucket, because you don't just, it's really hard to find the actual full housing for these fuel pump assemblies. I've had to do it on my Matrix. You essentially have to take the components apart from the housing, replace a bunch of things in it, and then drop it back in. It's pretty easy, but it's just more work than just taking a full housing out and putting a whole housing in. So we're going to get started. I just want to show you for the car. So behind these two seats, you have these two plastic containers, and under said storage bin / plastic containers is the fuel pump assembly. That's going to be on your passenger side. So I'm going to move my seats forward, show you how to pull the bins out, and then we're going to start working. All right, so I was able to pull out the panel behind here. You don't really have to pull out the second panel, but I mean, you can if you want to. I just pulled out the one bolt on this side. I pulled out the 1, 2, 3. I didn't pull them out really. They're over there. The 1, 2, 3. That's just for the glove box lid. Oh look, there's a whole bunch of wiring in here. That's not good. I'm gonna figure out what that's for. But yeah, so I did the 1, 2, 3 over here. You got 2 in here. These are all 10 millimeters. And you essentially just need to pull out this trim piece over here. It's going to have some clips up top. Put that back. Yeah, the little clip up there, clip over here, and just pull them out over there. And this will kind of free up this section in here. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. But now that this is out, we're going to get started on the fuel pump in itself. I just got to pry this out with a screwdriver. That's just the lid that just covers the actual fuel pump housing. There's going to be a couple of bolts underneath that I need to pull out, and it comes right out. Alrighty, so now that we are in here, I'm going to pry off this cover right there. Actually, you know what, before we even do that, see how dirty it is over here? Try and clean a little bit around this area. A nice, easy way to do that. So compress there. So you just use anything that you would clean, you know, your laptop with or whatever. Right out. Use the bigger one. So you're gonna have to clean up later, but alright, so that just gets the dust out of the area. I do want to clean a little bit with maybe just some soap and water, just to make sure that additional particles aren't going to go in there. So I'm just going to be real simple about it. Just use a little bit of water. Just like I said, from the area right around. See, look how dirty that is. It's disgusting. It's gross. I don't know why it's pink over there. So many questions. So many questions. That's like I said, just clean just the surrounding area. You can clean more, which I'll probably do later once this is all closed up and done. But for the time being, I'm just gonna pry this off. I've actually noticed that mine is so crappy that I can just pull it off. But you should be able to just stick your screwdriver under here, and for purposes, I'll show you. Just lift. Just lift this off. Now, to be honest, I'm probably going to want to get some kind of RTV to reseal this, because this was not sealed very well. So, oh, great. But it makes me think that this was done at some point. When? I don't know, but at some point. So passway of wires here. Can't exactly move this to the side as of yet until we get these two wires off. But for now, wear gloves for this. It's gross. Now that we're in here, you can see it's really dirty. I'll step real far away, or in my case, I'll wear a mask. Why not? So I'm gonna get this crap in my face. I'll get it in my eyes. It's all going everywhere. Okay, not awful. So I'm going to do a little bit of cleaning here. And it's a little tedious, but all the videos I saw about this weren't super in-depth, so I really wanted to make a really in-depth video. Like full-on step-by-step. You want to skip stuff? Skip it. But for everybody else, this is for you. So essentially I'm just cleaning all the areas around the bolts. That's good for cleaning, but really you want to clean the surrounding area, because that's the stuff that's going to fall into the fuel pump. See? It's gross. I don't know how this stuck on. This is supposed to be RTV. I guarantee you it doesn't work. So I'm going to reseal this when I'm done. Run around the edge of the ring that seals the housing. Or really, it's just the top of the housing. So just go around the whole edge. Okay. It's reasonably clean. take this. I'm gonna clean all this up later. Alright, back to the fuel pump. So, there are two electrical connections that come out of this. One on this side, one on this side. And then you have two gas line connections over here. So I'm gonna start pulling out this electrical connection. Alright, so just an update on the clips. This guy is rough. That's essentially the one goes in here. You've got a tab over here. It's just really hard to press by finger. So what I did is put my pair of pliers over it. Essentially I squeezed it and then pried it from the bottom. So that came off. This was really easy. This one you just have like this little tab over here. Squish, pull. That one was not hard at all. Alright, so now we just gotta work on the fuel. Fuel's pretty easy. This guy should just come straight up. And this one, you squeeze. And then you just gotta pry it with, not pry it, but help pull it back with something else. But since this situation is gonna involve some gas, you wanna get your mask for it. And probably good to get some rags. Maybe put a trash bag down here. I'm going to put a trash bag down here and grab some rags. And then I'm going to pull both these out. Take my bolts out. But bam. Alright, I went in for a second round to clean up all this area, all the surrounding areas. I do have most of the bolts either out or loose. But while I have a little bit of purchase on these two things, I'm going to pull out this from the fuel lines. You press here. And essentially you just got to push out, but I'm going to use my two hands and my pliers to help me pull that out. And this guy just comes straight up. But, yeah, in preparation I have this here, got this here, and I'm going to wear a mask. I'm going to pull them out and show you guys the results. Alright, so this finally came off. This is extremely difficult. To kind of help me out, because you have to get over this ridge over here. I put some WD-40 inside of this, squeeze this with a needle nose plier, and just pulled right out. Luckily it finally came. And then for this guy, this is your second fuel line. Sorry about the darkness. This is over here. There we go. There is a little retainer clip at the base of it that goes through here. Essentially you just need to pry it out with some kind of prying tool like this guy. Yeah, so you just pry that out, and then this little fella, you just got to keep somewhere safe. I'm going to keep that here. This fuel line's going to pop off right now. So all you have to do is just kind of pry this out. This is going to be held in with some kind of O-ring. So I'm just going to pry this out and put something here to catch the fuel if you've driven your car sometime recently, because fuel is going to get places. And then you pull this bad boy out, you pull this retaining ring out, and then pull the whole housing out. So I'm about to do that right now. Okay. Alright, so like I said, this is your float right here. This is your filter right there. So there's going to be numerous different parts to this whole assembly. This is obviously your main gasket. That's what's going to seal everything from if you get anything extraneous going into your tank. And this is what also holds it kind of into the tank. So first thing you're going to need to do, start from the bottom. So this needs to come off. Alright. Stop moving, camera. There we go. So like I said, first part, get this little guy off of here. I'm using my tiny picks to help get everything out versus a screwdriver. If you have a really small screwdriver, fine, but I like these little picks for these kind of operations. Watch me pull this out. Go. Start popping it off. You got 3 sides to do it. Once you get the first one, the other 2 should be easier. And it just flies off like that. explodes. So trying to hold on to this. I don't believe we have a replacement for it. Nope. So this is in the stay pile. I'm going to clean all this off. As you can see, there's gas in here. It's a little dirty. So we're just going to pull. Oh, that shouldn't come out so easily. But it did. Pull this little cap off too. This tiny little gasket over here, a little black gasket. That's what's going to be retaining your filter. So take this little guy off, put it to the keep pile. See another one of those as well. And then this is your filter. So I should be able to just pry it off. Ugh. Actually, I'm noticing here. There's a really small lock over here. I don't know if it's common or not, but you can't really see it. There's a little tiny metal lock over here, which you have to pry off as well. Everything's getting dried. Oh, or I'll just stab myself with the finger. One of two things. Mainly stabbing. That's going to make my life a little easier. Be real careful. Hold this a little closer to the ground because it is covered in gasoline. And the gasoline is slippery. Oh. Fuck. Probably gonna eat that at some point. Okay. And then pull this off. There we go. This is our filter. It's only going to go on one way when you redo it. I guess this is pretty dirty. Yeah, alright. But if your filter, there's going to be a little tiny tab here, which retains a little part of it. And the large area, which is where the base of your filter goes into, is this little part over here. So that part's going to slot right in. Then you have this little retainer as well. So you've got the slot to go into your pump, and then right above that, a little retainer. So there's really only one way you can put that in. Alright, so I'm going to want to look at that retainer at some point because God forbid, I don't think I have another one. What are the chances somebody sent me a little retainer? Let's see. Tiny retainer, O-ring, plastic stuff. Do not see a tiny retainer. So I'm gonna have to go find it, but it's good that it exists. Hopefully. Alright, so we're gonna want to separate our top portion from the bottom portion. Yet again, you're gonna use the same method. Use some kind of pick or really, really thin screwdriver. I'm gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4 points to separate this. You just want to start on one side. Slowly, just trying to get it over the little resting spot. That's the second one. I'll keep this low because it is going to explode again. Everything seems to be exploding. Number 4, real slowly, just. Just be careful. You can smash this up pretty easy. So I'm just going to separate. show you everything real time. Alright. So we are going to unplug some stuff to get these two things together. So as you can see, this is still together, but only in the form of electronics. So you've got a plug over here, one over here. So we're going to remove both of these. Gasoline. Everything's slippery. Pull this out first. This one's easy. Alright, got our one plug removed. We've got this little badge. I'm guessing it's ground. Based on what I'm looking at. Oh, there's another little plug in there as well. So the other guy, I think we need to pull that out. There's a small tab, there's a little gray plug in the middle. As you can see, it's not super easy to show. Right in here, right there. Alrighty, so we do have both sides separated. Here's the top side. I went ahead and cleaned it. All my plugs are gone. You do have this little rubber seal over here, which I believe is included in said kit. I believe it's that. Yeah, it's pretty thick. Let's see. Oh, should I it? So you do get quite a bit of stuff in this little kit. It's a little rubber piece of hose for, honestly, it don't look wet. I do see that, within the body in itself. Potentially, there's an O-ring in here that needs to be replaced. Get a little black O-ring all the way down there. I think that's potentially the O-ring it's providing. So we do have a fuel pressure regulator up here, which I feel like I should be replacing. So I don't believe one came with the kit. That part I gotta figure out. This honestly looks past its prime. That's actually what's held in with this O-ring. So I'm gonna check the kits. Let's see, fuel pressure regulator in here. Nope. Probably not great. Not probably something I actually want to go ahead and buy right now. That's something not included in the kit that I want to get. And the regulator is right up here. This guy. So what I'd like to do is take off this O-ring out of the back, pull this out, and then potentially just go by it. Get the right tooth through. And I have to use one of these little guys. Try it out. It's fat O-ring for my fuel pressure regulator. And then something just fell out. Okay. It's a little regulator. I should plug it out. What's in there? It ain't coming out so easy, I'll tell you that. But this doesn't look great, honestly. This is something I really want to replace. Okay, I'm just gonna get a pair of pliers to pull this out. The rest I can work with, but to be honest, I'm gonna order a fuel pressure regulator. Alright, so I ended up getting a fuel pressure regulator from Advanced Auto Parts. Top tip, this kit does not include a fuel pressure regulator. I'm going to put that in the description. Hopefully somebody looks at it. So I'm going to be replacing that. Hopefully they are the same. Sort of looks right. I'll check right now. So this is my old fuel pressure regulator. This is my new one. I think they're about the same. Let's find out. So I gotta put that to here. So just take it, just push it straight in. Alright, so now that we have our fuel pressure regulator in, this little fella right here, what I did is I took my new pump, stuck the new harness in here, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna fish it through everything. And so we can tell our fuel pump right here, this is the old one. It's got a little plastic cap on it, which is right over on this guy. So we're gonna put our new plastic cap on. If I can find it. There's quite a bit of stuff, maybe more than is necessary, but so I will take this out. This is the little cap I'm looking for. I'll take off a little protector. Should take this guy off. Then, as per the old pump, keep the old pump here just so I know what it looks like. Stick it on. This. Alright, so remember our little tiny gasket right in there that's been replaced. Essentially what that does is it receives the other side of your fuel pump, this part right here. So what we're going to do, I'm going to fish the wiring through the body of this. And we're going to attach the pump over there. Wait for that to go in, but alright, so we just push this in. Just make sure, obviously, your pump doesn't fall out. Pretty important. What I want to start doing is connecting these guys together. So So we've got different wiring to connect to get these two together. This is going to slot in the same way. It's a semicircle, so it's going to slot in the same way, like this. Top to toe, like that. But it's flat on the same side, so that'll help you. So, let's try to plug this stuff in. Leave it plugged. Okay. First step into getting everything together. It's a blue and black plug. It's probably apt. Plugged. And then just gotta get the ground wire. So with the ground wire, you probably want to bend this back in a little clip. So I'm trying to bend it. Make sure the ground is secure. Should be. Double check. Nice flat head. Okay, so that should be good as well. Got my ground wire, you see it right here at the top. Got our beige, whatever wire, and here to the body, and the inside you've got your blue wire. So then, what did I do wrong? Oh, right. Just want to take everything together, push all your wires inboard, and putting this together. And then you're going to have your regulator and another part just sandwiching on each other. So I'm going to start. There we go. Click these little tabs. You got 4 of these little tabs to push everything together. It's going to be difficult. I will say that. It's not going to be easy. This is all pushed in. Regulator is good. Wiring is good. Just make sure the little ground doesn't want to fall off. This is good. Essentially, we can drop this back into the car. Everything looks good to go as far as the kit's concerned. So I want to clean this. I'm going to clean the ring. First, let me do my sock right now. So I can do that. Sock time. This is really easy. There's only one way it's going to go also, so that's a plus. I'm going to take the little bottom off of here. Go away. Just goes onto here like this. Like I said before, there's a little tiny tab where this mounts on. It's obviously going to go face down. So you go here, just go like that. There's a little retainer for this in the new kit, which I'm going to install right now. Super small, don't lose it. It's the piece that I sent flying before. Okay, tiny retainer, super low. Remember I said don't drop it. Don't drop it. don't have nails. So I'm just gonna get this little guy on here. Alright, now that we have the needle painting retainer on, probably can't see, it's a pain. We just put our cap at the bottom so everything holds. Alright, so the last few steps, guys. We just want to connect everything. Everything's bolted in right now. Rings in place. So I'm going to just hook this guy up. Super dark, sorry. Okay, one. Get this other gas line in. Then, before we get our wiring in, we're going to fish this clip into there, and then get the two electric connections in, and bam, start the car. Alright, as you can tell, the car is running. I didn't put the cover on yet. I do want to see back here, see if anything's leaking. There's no leaks right now. So before you actually start the car, you want to prime it. So turn your key on and off maybe like 2-3 times, just to make sure there's, you know, fuel going to the pump and whatnot. So it'll be a lot easier that way, because there'll be no fuel in the lines once you've purged everything. So it'll be a lot easier to just key on, key off 2-3 times, start it up, make sure it runs, and you should be good to go. If you guys got any questions, feel free to reach out. Thanks, bye.